Hey everyone, Gaijin Goombah here. Um, for those of you who don't know who I am and what I do, because it's very likely a lot of new people are going to be trafficked into this video, it has been my job for the last 5 years to teach about multiculturalism through video games, anime, with a very large emphasis in Japan. And to see what just happened with Logan Paul is just... I'm kind of at a loss, and I'm really, really frustrated, and yeah, I'm actually kind of angry too. So, for those of you that don't know what in the world I'm talking about, Logan Paul just recently put out a video, multiple videos actually, of him touring Japan. And, yeah, we can safely say that it was far less than respectful in all of the different videos. Whether it's hitching a ride on someone's truck, or acting like a general jackass. Look, I understand that a lot of this is done for the lulz, and that's fine. But this thing with Aokigahara, this is just way too much, dude. Like, you do you want to do diss tracks, fine. You want to manipulate the system, fine. This crosses the line. And it makes it harder for people like me. Infinitely harder for people like me. When foreigners go to Japan to not be a tourist, to teach, to educate, to try and teach the community that us foreigners aren't all crazy people, this does nothing for us. I have spent 17 years trying to wrap my brain around Japan, the people, the customs, the culture, so that I can show them that we're not all ludicrous, that we're not all a bunch of jackasses, that have no idea how their culture works, that maybe we actually could kind of come together as humans, you know, in a respectful manner. I have studied abroad in Yokohama. I have been through the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program in Mie Prefecture. I have tried to set groundwork with so many people that are either terrified of foreigners, don't understand foreigners at all, and who have equally reached out to me. And this just destroys all of it. All of it. There are over 6 million views to this, and that's probably growing. And you can bet this is going to be probably on NHK News. I'm sorry, guys. None of this is scripted. It's just, I wanted to say something. It's just, you have no idea how hard it is for someone who obviously looks foreign to get anywhere in Japan. It took me a solid year to get people to come out and talk, to share their experiences, to share their lives. Even in my host family, it was difficult for them to come out. I had to get through layers and layers and layers of tatemae in order to get to their honne. And if you don't know what that is, you got no right to judge. All these people right here who signed this, these were all people that took months and months for them to come out and talk to me. It was from a little bar called Side 6 in Yokkaichi. It isn't there anymore, which makes me super sad. But look at all these people. Look at all these names. All of them were able to come out and talk to me, and it took forever. But they eventually did. And this was a handmade decoration from a very good friend of mine, Shizuka-chan. I consider her my adoptive Japanese grandma, because whenever I was lonely, she said, "Come over, we'll feed you, we'll even wash your clothes." And when I felt the most lonely overseas, she just made a complete difference. It's hard to see on the back, but she wrote a message out for me. This is something that I keep very near and dear to my heart. It's literally right above my desk. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of people that I've worked with, people who I would even consider family at this point, people who have come to me to want to know more about who I am and where I come from in a society that probably couldn't care less at this point, me going out to them to try and teach them that we're all people, that we all can respect and love and care for each other. And then you do this. I know I'm probably barking about nothing, and I know a lot of other people are already upset and probably making videos just like this. But this is coming from the perspective of a white guy trying to make some headway, trying to do something to kind of bridge the gap of Nihonshin and Gaijin. Just something. Some kind of understanding. When I started doing my work, it did nothing but irritate me at how we just poked fun at Japan. We poked fun at their quirkiness. The whole reason I got started in the very, very beginning is because everyone joked around about the Tanuki suit. I'm like, no, it makes perfect sense if you really think about it. And a lot of people agreed. My job for 15 years has been to teach others about a country that I love, about a culture that I love. A culture that has taught me patience, respect, the majesty of what it is to be calm and collected and controlled. And I am just one of several. Whether it be in the YouTube space or people who are still living in Japan, who are trying to teach people in that country that have been isolated and are still mentally isolated in a lot of ways, that we can work together, that there's not this big giant divide. This stupid video just destroys all of it. I've been racially profiled in Japan, and that was a really sobering experience for me. Long story short, it was something very dumb. But I was refused service because I was white. Because how could I understand Japan's language, their rules, their customs? How could I? I'm white. And it's stupid crap like this. All that does is just reinforce that mentality. And if this was just a dumb little video that got maybe a couple 100,000 views, whatever, no one would care. 6 million! You've made all of our jobs so much more difficult. Do you even understand, Logan, the culture that Japan has of privacy? Of not taking people's pictures. There have been people who have been sued in Japan for... There was a guy I knew who got sued for taking a picture of the Shibuya crossing because there was a dude who was cheating on his wife with his mistress. He got sued. And he lost. Last time I was in Japan, I could not record myself playing a video game in an arcade because they are that strict about photo policies. And I have spent so much time trying to respect them so I could bring what I've learned over here. And I've been able to do that in a good number of occasions. In fact, starting this year, I was going to try and do that a little bit more. A little bit more personal, a little more one-to-one. Something that didn't have to rely on something like gaming or anime, but just talk about their culture. Because according to my statistics, there are at least hundreds of thousands of people interested in that. This is not who we are. What Logan did is not who we are. Like I said, Logan, if you want to make your diss tracks, fine. You want to manipulate YouTube system? Fine. But you have some goddamn respect for yourself, for Japan, and for the dead. What you did was inexcusable. You can't hide it. You put that in a thumbnail. And you've just made my job more difficult. You've made countless people's job more difficult. Sorry, I can't talk. I'm just this livid. When you go into a country, you got to understand where the limits are. And for Japan, that's keeping people out of pictures, getting people's permission to take pictures, and for the love of God, not put a dead hanging man into your pictures. I didn't want to start off 2018 with this, but this is the problem with YouTube. The fact that it has 6 million views and way too many likes. I already just know that his fans are going to be pouncing on me, but this is something that had to be said. You have to respect the culture of the place you are visiting. And if you can't do that, you have no reason to be there. It's now going to be that much more difficult for people like me, for anyone who is not Japanese, and who is especially not Asian, to be taken seriously, to make any headway over there in terms of education, in terms of making relationships, long-lasting relationships. This is going to be all over their news. Promise you, it's going to be all over their news. If he isn't banned from the country, I'll be real surprised. Because of all of the social norms and unspoken rules that he just obliterated. You want to dress up in a kimono and wear a jingasa hat and make yourself look like a complete idiot? Fine. Do that on your own time. But if you're going to do that, you got to understand that everyone now who sees that is going to judge all of us that way. Is that fair? No. But it's what's going to happen. And now you've just made it that much more difficult for us. So thanks, Logan. Thanks for making my job harder. Catch you later.